I'm at the Manx Legion Hall with Edgar Quine, a well-known face from politics, maybe a little bit ago, but you're still on the circuit and you're here tonight to do a PAG meeting. About what?
Well, the subject, of course, is essentially the government learning to live within its means. I think it's pretty well known, certainly on the island, that as a result of the renegotiation of the VAT agreement, a rather large hole appeared in the government finances, and of course that was in 2010, and as a consequence they now have to make some rather radical adjustments to balance the books. And I'm here tonight to discuss the product of a report by a committee which was commissioned by the government to make some proposals in relation to the structure of government.
Which you sat on, of course. And they just put away?
Yes, the first report, which was for the scope and the structure, that was in 2006, and nothing was done about that one. Well, I think 5 years later there was some changes made to the structure, departmental structure, but nothing that directly impacted upon the financial problems which we're now having to confront.
When you did that original report, were you surprised at Tony Brown's decision not to actually activate the scope side of it?
Not really, because we took evidence, and Mr. Brown gave evidence, and it was quite clear that from his position, from his view, that the government policies and structures were perfectly in order. Of course, he did not at that time know about the renegotiation of the VAT agreement. Perhaps his position would be different today. That I don't know.
Well, I mean, you've looked at the figures. You know how it's going to work out. What are you suggesting here tonight?
Well, we believe that there has to be some quite radical thought given to restructuring government, to make it a leaner and a fitter government. And on top of that, I think we're going to have to adjust our expectations as to what is possible during this period when we're on a much reduced revenue source.
But is there anything you can actually say tonight, you know, the X, Y or Z, that should be cut completely or really curtailed? Are you going to give people some ideas from your perspective on where we should go forward?
Yes, we have provided in our report, we've provided some indicators, areas where we believe they should well, issues that they should study, should we say, to see what needs to be done or what can be done with them. It's not for us, of course, to make hard and fast proposals, because we've been working within time frames that wouldn't allow for that sort of detailed study, but we've pointed to certain issues and certain areas that we believe could constitute a good starting point for them to have a look at the problem.
Let me push you. Let me put you back into government right now. You're in charge. Where would you make the biggest and most important cuts?
Well, ironically, it would not be within the areas, having regard to the urgency of doing something, it would probably not be within the areas of structure or scope, so much as policy. I think in terms of addressing the shortfall in revenue, the immediate action lies in areas of policy, what services you provide or whether you don't provide them, and the quality of service, the standard of service. These are matters that impact on policy, and they are excluded from the study which our committee looked into. We were just dealing with structure and scope. So I think any person that's looking at what needs to be done now, and the government is doing this, of course, they have to look at policy, because that is where some input can be made, some real reductions can be made to square the books.
Would you like to be back into politics now with this?
I'm rather long in the tooth to go back into politics.